Hello, Narc Slayers, and welcome. Welcome, everyone, to my live stream. I'm Rebecca Zung, and I see that I already have lots and lots of people tuning in here on this gorgeous Tuesday. And I see people from all over already. I see Yasmin from Arizona. Hello, and welcome. And welcome to Shelly tuning in from Sacramento. And she says, hello, Zung, from the Zung Army. I love that. That's a cool way to put it. Love it. I see tons of questions already. And some of you were tuning in from my private Facebook group, Narcissist Negotiators, and some from my Facebook page, and some from my YouTube. And if you have liked one, or you're a member of one, and you haven't subscribed to one or joined one or the other, please feel free to do so, and be a part of all of them so that you are part of all of my groups. Would love to have you everywhere. Hello from Glasgow, a Google user, Blue Tet. I hope I'm saying that right. I don't even know. Hello, Tony from Mobile, Alabama. And Yuri from the Netherlands. Fantastic. And Yvonne from Scotland. Love seeing everyone from everywhere. Fantastic. And I'm seeing some beautiful comments. All right. So, you know, I had a thought today. I was like, I saw something in a Quora forum about the term splitting, and how splitting is, you know, something that has to do with narcissists. A lot of times you hear the term splitting when it has to do with people with like bipolar or other types of personality disorders. But I heard it actually attributed to narcissists, and it's like where a person actually, you know, they see somebody as like all good. You know, you start off with the whole love bombing, the idealization phase, and they see this person as all good, like amazing from the beginning, and then like the one little thing happens, and immediately that narcissistic injury gets triggered, and immediately they see that person as all bad. You know, immediately, you know, they can't stand him. They, you know, hate the person, and it's like their protective shield comes down, and that rage comes flying out, and right away they see that person as bad, and right away they you know, they don't like that person, and that the devaluing comes in. And a lot of times I think what happens with narcissists in that phase is they don't even realize how hurtful they can be, how horrible they can be, how awful the things are that they say. And because I think sometimes then they just want to go back to just being, you know, how they were before that, and they don't realize, like, my God, you know, the person's like, what happened there? And I want to bring it back to negotiation, because sometimes that happens in negotiations as well, where, you know, you bring an offer and they immediately just shut it down. They immediately just go, no. And, you know, one of the tactics that you can have when you are negotiating with a narcissist is come up with a way to sort of let an offer be their idea, where you kind of sort of float something out there where they end up kind of coming up with the particular terms, and then they think it's their idea, and therefore, you know, that becomes the deal, and who really cares? I mean, when you're dealing with a narcissist, you obviously you have to take your ego out of the whole equation, because if they think that you came up with the idea, then they might immediately just shut it down. So it was something that I had thought about it, and hadn't really addressed it that much in my videos. And so I wanted to bring it up here in this live forum. It was just something I thought was an interesting concept. So anyway, so I want to take a couple of your questions here. Let's see. And I'm seeing a lot of questions with regard to, you know, proving that somebody is lying, and proving something to a judge. And, you know, I saw something about a restraining order and proving something in court. And I want to reiterate something that I've said before as far as proving something to the judge. And I actually have a video that's going to be coming up on this as well. And that is that I want to really kind of distinguish for you guys the difference between what I call law and justice. Because, you know, there's this whole notion of like justice, like this person should be brought to justice for lying or whatever. And then there's like what the law is, okay? And the judge is tasked with applying the law. And so, yes, the judge wants to know what the truth is, but what the judge wants to know is, what are the facts according to the law? And so what you want to make sure that you're doing at all times is making sure that you are putting your case in terms that the judge actually cares about, which is the law. So make sure that you are applying your case in terms of the law. Instead of worrying so much about like, this person is lying. Yeah, of course you want to prove that they're lying if you can prove it, but put it in terms of, you know, here are the facts. And so if you can disprove their lies by showing facts, that then, you know, you show, you know, here are the facts under the law. That is how you're going to get the judge's attention, and that's how you're going to get the judge to care about what it is that you want to present. You know, if you go in there and you say like, oh, this isn't fair, and, you know, how are they getting away with this? You know, the ironic thing is that the narcissist ends up making you crazy, and then you end up feeling like very emotional. And if you go into a courtroom very emotional, then the judge sees you as emotional, and then that ends up working against you, unfortunately. So you want to get that under control and really present your case in a way where you are putting it in terms that the judge is actually going to care about, which is the law. The judge is really tasked with trying to figure out what the law is and how can I assimilate this case in terms of the law. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, the system is very, very beleaguered. There are tons and tons of delays. There were delays before COVID. It's even worse now. You know, everybody's at a bit of a disadvantage now with the Zoom and everything else. It's even harder to kind of discern who's who. And, you know, judges are trying to figure out, you know, who people are with that. But, you know, I wouldn't, the thing that you definitely don't want to do is just assume right away, like, I can never get my way. I always lose. They always get their way. because, you know, when you say things like that, you are absolutely placing orders to the universe. You are deciding that you are a victim. You are deciding that the other side is definitely going to win. You cannot make those proclamations and then end up winning. You cannot come from that place and then end up getting where you want to go. It just doesn't happen. You have to decide from where you are right now that you are going to be able to get where you want to go. Otherwise, you won't. So, you know, that is a mindset shift that you've got to be able to make from standing in your living room before you even walk out the door, or before you even switch on the Zoom, or before you even turn on your computer, for sure. Okay. Let's see. And, you know, so for somebody's asking for strategies for staying calm and unemotional. I do in my SLAY program, the whole why, SLAY stands for strategy, leverage, and anticipate, and you, and Y stands for focusing on you, your case, and your position. And in that whole why section, I have a whole bunch of strategies on focusing on you and how you can remain calm, and even like I even go into vibrational stuff and how you can keep your vibrational level where you want it to be, because it is so important. Your mindset, you know, I say it's like 50% of winning. You know, some people say it's 80%, 100%. You know, it's so important to keep your emotions in check, because you know, part of the narcissist strategy, frankly, is to trigger you. They want to trigger you. They know that if they can trigger you, then they have you. I actually have a video in where I break down the show I Care a Lot. I don't know if you guys have seen that show, but or it's like a mini series. And in that show, the main character actually goes to the older woman, who's one of the other characters, and purposely for the camera gets her like riled up and gets her to like choke her, and then uses that to show the judge, you know, goads her into doing it. But that's the kind of thing that they do. They purposely goad you into doing that. So if you can remain under control, then that's half the battle, truly. Okay, so let's see. So can you take your husband to court for physical and emotional abuse? So that it's really a legal question. You know, I can't answer specific law questions here, but you know, in general, you know, you're asking really a tort question. And, you know, there has to be sort of damages and that sort of thing. And again, you know, you want to just make sure that you are putting your cases in terms of the actual law and not looking at like what's fair and trying to bring somebody to justice. You know, try to really separate out law from justice. It will help you so much emotionally, so much emotionally. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So, any way to save my credit? I mean, you know, sometimes there's ways to save your credit. You just want to make sure that you're marital settlement agreement is specific as to how your assets are being divided, or how, you know, as far as the financial piece of it is. And, you know, I do recommend that people after a divorce have your credit checked. And if you are separating out assets, that you definitely get your name off of each other's assets if you are separating them out, that sort of thing. But, you know, I want to be careful. I'm not giving you actual legal advice here, but, you know, you do, if you are getting an asset or you're giving up an asset, where, you know, one person is taking the entire thing, you want to make sure you get your names off of it, and then pull your credit, you know, 3-6 months or even a year after, and just make sure that everything's been separated out, your name's not still floating around on something, for sure. All right. 18 years of marriage in Florida, chances of permanent alimony. You know, so a permanent alimony in Florida, 17 years or more is a long-term marriage. But this is my lay. But there's a lot of other things that go into a finding for alimony. They look at incomes and health of the parties and the assets that are being distributed to each side. I mean, there's a lot of things that they look at. So it's definitely something that you need to look at with your lawyer, for sure. So as far as chances, I mean, even Miley, if you were sitting in my office, I wouldn't be able to give you exact chances. There's a lot of things that go into a calculation of alimony, for sure. So are serial cheaters and narcissistic often one and the same? Yeah, you know what? Nancy, I have a whole video coming out on signs of narcissistic cheaters. So for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, now is a good time to do that, because I do have a video coming out on just that topic. All right. So for those of you who have not attended my free webinar, you can definitely do that too. You can also grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. You can join my free private Facebook group. I'm really, really glad that I was able to connect with all of you guys here today. And my goodness, all over the world on this beautiful Tuesday, and seeing so many hundreds of you from everywhere, and so many amazing questions. You know, please remember, separate out, you know, what's, you know, law from justice, and try to remember, like, just different strategies, like focusing on you and staying non-emotional, and also like letting it be their idea every once in a while, and, you know, all the different strategies that I gave you in this video as well. So thank you all for being here. And if you like the video, make sure you like it, make sure you share it out, and I send you all light and love and peace, and I will see you all in the next video for sure.